When was the last time that a signature athlete from a major brand had a primary on-court model that went for less than $100? I think it was Kevin Durant with the KD4, but
not anymore, Mr. Krabs!
What's up, guys? Thanks for watching WearTesters on YouTube. My name is Jackson. Today we got a performance review on the Adidas Dame Certified. This is Damian Lillard's budget signature model. This season, he's been wearing it in conjunction with last season's Dame 8. And yeah, the cool part about this shoe is that it retails for just 95 bucks. It's really refreshing to see a signature athlete of Damian Lillard's caliber playing in a shoe that is so affordable. But does it perform? Let's find out. Nothing about the Dame Certified is like incredible, but there were some things that did stand out to me that were pretty impressive. And my favorite thing actually was the material setup. Yeah, this is a $95 shoe, so you're not getting anything premium, but what you are getting is a blend of mesh, some leather-like material, and you've got some fuse in the high wear areas where you need it. And if you look on Adidas's website, you'll see that the Dame Certified was made in part with recycled materials. And unlike the Cosmic Unity 2, that you can see here, where Nike plastered the sustainability all over the branding and the box, only for the shoe to perform like garbage, not even recycling, garbage. The Dame Certified uses recycled material, but even regardless of that, the material setup here, like I said, is nothing premium, but it works really well. You have actual panels, like leather paneling on a shoe, and it's 95 bucks. Maybe it's because I went into this with lower expectations because of the price point, but I was really impressed with the materials here. The mesh used is nice and soft, and it's also fairly breathable if that's something that you're into. You also have that same mesh material here on the tongue as well. It does a good job relieving lace pressure, except for when you tie them super tight. You have a pretty traditional tongue setup that also kind of forms like a half booty in there, so it's comfortable around your foot. And then these leather panels, or synthetic leather or recycled leather, whatever it is that they're using, it feels like actual leather. And it provides you some support here on the lateral and on the medial side of the forefoot. And then you've also got this little panel right here. It's kind of like the napkin from the Dame 3. It's supposed to kind of pull you into the back of the shoe and kind of help with the lockdown, which we will talk about momentarily. And the shoe does run a little bit narrow, and so you do feel that when you first put the shoe on, but it breaks in really nicely. The materials get softer and they loosen up a little bit, and yeah, you give these things a little bit of break-in time, and man, they just feel nice. It's also gonna be a pretty durable setup for you as well, and the fact that it's on a budget model makes it even more impressive. Now let's move on to another aspect of the shoe that I enjoyed, and that's the traction. You have a really large wave bone pattern from heel to toe. This traction setup works great on clean courts, but when you start to throw dust into the equation, the outsole does pick up a little bit more dust than I expected it to. So you just gotta keep up with that, make sure you're wiping the dust off the soles and you don't let it accumulate, because when that happens, and it will if you don't pay attention to it, that's when you're gonna start to see some slipping and some traction issues. So you might end up with some pretty dirty hands, but as long as you're not letting that dust build up on the outsole, you're gonna see really solid traction performance indoors. The rubber grooves are pretty thick, they're spaced out pretty widely, and the rubber itself is fairly durable, so if you wanted to use this as an outdoor shoe, the traction is gonna be really good for that. I'm not playing outside because it's now February and I live in the Midwest and it's cold. But yeah, this is a traction setup that's gonna work both indoors and outdoors. One aspect of the shoe that I did not love was the cushion. If you are at all familiar with Adidas basketball from the last 8 years, 10 years, I don't know, then you already know what's up, because we have full-length bounce foam. Bounce is what was used in the main Dame line from the 1 through the 5, I think. And it's back here, and I'm not a huge fan of this setup. It's bounce foam, but it's not really very bouncy. When I compare it directly to this, the Son of Shy 2, or the original Son of Shy from last year, which retailed from a slightly higher $100 price point, the foam here is much bouncier than it is on the Dame Certified. What I like about this is you're low to the ground, you've got a lot of court feel, you're not sinking into the foam at all, you just don't have much of a responsiveness to it. You know, you don't have anything that's actually like compressing and then bouncing back. You don't feel a lot of compression, there's a little bit there in the heel, but in the forefoot, you're not really gonna be feeling anything. Impact protection is fairly minimal. After playing in them for, you know, a couple hours at a time, I would start to feel that in my legs. So if impact protection is something that you're after, that you place a really high importance on, this might not be the best option for you. However, if you're someone who doesn't place a premium on impact protection, and you like something that's low to the ground, it's quick, it's nimble, then this might be an option for you. And if you're looking for a bouncier bounce foam, try out the Son of Shy 2. It's a really solid shoe overall. You can also probably find the original Son of Shy on deep discount too. But yeah, cushion here is just whatever. I wasn't a huge fan of it. So I wasn't a huge fan of the cushion, but you know what I hated? The insole. This thing sucks. Adidas isn't really consistent with a whole lot across their basketball line, but one thing that they are consistent with is their insoles, because they are terrible. Terrible! I mean, it's no wonder that Damian Lillard is a co-founder of Move Insoles. Speaking of Move Insoles, I swapped out the stock insoles with a pair of game day insoles, and it helped out the cushion, you know, a little bit, helped out the comfort a little bit, and that could be an option for you if you want to get the Dame Certified, but you also want a little bit more cushion than what it offers. However, you need to be careful when replacing the stock insole. Make sure that you don't put something in that is thicker than the stock insole, because it's going to raise your foot up off the footbed a little bit more. You're not going to have very much space within the shoe. Your heel's going to be sitting up higher. Your heel's going to be slipping out. More on that in a second. Let's move on to the fit. I got my true size, and I would recommend that for most people, whatever size you normally buy. Obviously, your best option is to go into a store and try them on for yourself, see what works the best for you. But if you can't, I'd recommend going with whatever size is your normal size. So, you know, for most people, go true to size, and if you have wide feet and you normally go up half a size, then go up half a size. I don't have a pair of Dame 8s to compare this to, but Chris did do a review on the Dame 8, so if you want to check that out, check out what he had to say about the sizing and then compare it to this. But I got my true size, and that is the best way to go. Forefoot lockdown was good. You do sit within the midsole up here a little bit, and that felt really nice. Containment in the forefoot, midfoot, I had no issues with. The issue that I did have was in the heel. I just couldn't achieve a proper heel lockdown. And the way that I was able to ultimately relieve that was just by tying the laces as tightly as I could. It didn't feel great, but I was able to get enough lockdown throughout the shoe that I could play in them, test them, and give them a proper review. You might be able to alleviate that heel slippage by going down a half size. However, the shoe's gonna be really narrow if you do that. It already is on the narrow side of things. Thanks to the materials though, they do loosen up the more that you play in them, but if you go down half a size, I don't know if that'll be enough to compensate for how tight they're gonna feel. And ultimately, that was the biggest problem that I have with the Dame Certified. And I know that the heel slippage is not just a me thing, because on Damian Lillard's version of this shoe, he has more collar padding and an extra eyelet. If we had one of those things on this, I think that would totally fix the heel slippage issue. Either add some padding back here or give us another eyelet to lace up to. So let's talk support then. As long as you can get a good fit, I think you'll find the support on this to be more than enough, especially if you're a guard, which is kind of what the shoe is catered towards. You got a pretty good wide base here, solid traction. There's not an outrigger, but again, you sit within the midsole here in the forefoot area, so your foot's not sliding off the footbed. The materials on the upper also help to keep your foot right where it needs to be. There is an internal heel counter. Again, just make sure you can achieve proper heel lockdown. There's also an internal TPU shank in there, giving the shoe some torsion support and some rigidity where you need it the most. And yeah, I don't have anything to complain about support-wise. Again, just as long as you get your proper size. So I mostly enjoyed the Dame Certified. The heel lockdown issue was my biggest issue. I also would have liked bounce foam that felt more like it did in the Son of Shy, but for a $95 shoe, these came out pretty good. The material setup I thought was great. The traction is going to be good whether you're playing indoors or outdoors, and if you can get a good fit, then I think you're really going to enjoy these. But that's about all I've got for the Dame Certified. So if you've played in the Dame Certified, drop a comment, let me know what you think. If you don't have the Dame Certified, drop a comment, let me know what you think. This isn't a shoe that I'm gonna be going back to necessarily after testing them. This isn't gonna be making the best of 2022 or 2023 list, but it's a solid shoe, and if you can get a good fit, it's gonna be probably the best bang for your buck option, especially that you can find it on sale pretty much everywhere. But yeah, that's about it. As always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace and much love to you.